President Trump eulogized the late Lindsey Graham. Colorado residents are ratting out their neighbors in a drought. And TSA agents have been finding strange and alarming things in people's luggage. That's some of what we'll get to on the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, July 29th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia carried out strikes targeting Iranian proxy forces in Iraq. Yesterday, the military said the U.S. and Saudi Arabia hit, quote, multiple terrorist logistics and weapon sites across eastern Iraq in response to more than 30 drone attacks directed by Iran. The rare joint operation marked what appears to be Saudi Arabia's direct entry into the ongoing war between the U.S. and Iran. Earlier in the day, military officials said U.S. forces in the Middle East had intercepted multiple Iranian ballistic missiles. They said that thwarted an attempted surprise attack on U.S. personnel. Taken together, the renewed military action threatened to upend a recent pause in hostilities that President Donald Trump ordered to try and advance stalling peace negotiations. It also signaled a potential expansion of the war. Lindsey Graham's funeral took place yesterday at Washington National Cathedral. That's number 2. Heads of state and much of official Washington gathered yesterday to pay tribute to the late South Carolina senator who died suddenly this month. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky were among those in attendance. In a eulogy, President Trump hailed Graham as one of the great figures in Senate history, though he also said the two men got off to a rocky start. He recalled during the 2016 presidential campaign when they were adversaries, sharing Graham's personal phone number in a big speech.
His phone exploded. He said, I had that number for 20 years. His phone totally, I don't know what he did with it, but it exploded. That was the beginning of a friendship in a way. But it was Lindsey who had the last laugh because while I blew up his phone for one day, we became great friends, and Lindsey did not stop calling me for the next 10 years. It was not easy.
A second funeral will be held today with a procession through Columbia, South Carolina. Then Graham will be buried in a private ceremony in Pickens County. Number 3. Conservative activists released audio of Joe Biden's conversations with a ghostwriter. Biden spoke to a ghostwriter in 2016 and 2017 for a memoir project. The audio of their conversations was part of a 2023 special counsel investigation into Biden's handling of classified materials. The counsel found that Biden disclosed classified materials to ghostwriter Mark Zwanitzer, but that the evidence did not warrant prosecution. On Monday, the conservative think tank the Heritage Foundation released some tapes from the conversations after Biden dropped a legal challenge. The foundation argues the tapes show that the former president's mental sharpness was declining years before the public became aware. But the audio offers a more nuanced portrayal of Biden. At times, he struggled to recall names and dates of events from years earlier or lost his train of thought. But in other instances, he offers vivid details about old meetings and references to classified materials.
In '09, I just found all the classified stuff downstairs. I wrote the president a handwritten 40-page memorandum arguing against deploying additional troops to Afghanistan, on the grounds that it wouldn't matter. That the day we left would be like the day before we arrived.
If you want to hear more, you can find 4 key moments from the tapes in our newsletter today. Find a link to that in the show notes for today's episode. Number 4. The Senate confirmed Jay Clayton as the new Director of National Intelligence. Many Democrats initially welcomed the pick of Clayton to take over as the nation's intelligence czar. But those feelings soured after his confirmation hearing earlier this month. Multiple Democrats pressed him to acknowledge that Joe Biden won the 2020 presidential election. Clayton repeatedly said that Biden had been certified as the victor, but declined to answer the question directly. That raised eyebrows among Democrats who are worried about Trump's use of the intelligence community to further his baseless claims that the 2020 election was rigged. In the end, the confirmation vote was 51-47, far closer than had initially been expected. Clayton's confirmation ends the acting tenure of Bill Pulte, a housing official and Trump loyalist who served for a month following the departure of Tulsi Gabbard. Bari Weiss made a big new hire at the revamped 60 Minutes. That's our fifth story. It's been a summer of turmoil at the flagship CBS News program. In May, editor-in-chief Bari Weiss fired a number of 60 Minutes correspondents and top producers, including some who alleged Weiss interfered with the editorial integrity of stories. The network has denied that claim. Weiss also installed Nick Bilton as executive producer. He's a tech journalist without extensive broadcast experience. Yesterday, 60 Minutes announced a slate of new hires of on-air talent, headlined by conservative New York Times columnist Ross Douthat. Bilton called Douthat one of the preeminent public intellectuals in America today. Number 6. Colorado residents are ratting out their neighbors over water use during a drought. After record hot temperatures and little snow during the winter, the state of Colorado is dried up. So, Denver residents were asked by the city's utility to cut their water use by 20% this summer. And customers are only allowed to water their lawns twice a week. Despite that, some people's lawns look suspiciously green. Those with brown lawns stand out in contrast, and that is sparking tensions between residents. And there's some evidence that people aren't doing what they're supposed to. By mid-July, water use only went down about 5% in Denver. Now, more than 4,000 people have ratted on their neighbors for cheating the restrictions. That led to a story in the local Denver Post, which garnered thousands of comments. Most were along the lines of, "Snitches get stitches." Residents can be fined up to $1,000 for repeatedly breaking the rules. If you'd like to see the lawns in Denver and judge for yourself whether water restrictions are being followed there, head over to today's newsletter. And at number 7, TSA agents have found some pretty strange things in luggage this summer. The Transportation Security Administration has been screening 2 million passengers daily as Americans and visitors embark on a season of travel. Part of the job, as you have no doubt experienced, is confiscating things you're not supposed to bring on the plane. Most of the time, that means stuff like full bottles of water. Personally, I am still grieving the loss of a full-size fancy sunscreen snatched from me last year. But rules are rules. Sometimes, though, people try to bring stuff through that's a little more alarming. Post-travel reporter Natalie Compton compiled the TSA's most noteworthy catches of the summer so far. They include 2 live smoke grenades in a traveler's checked bag, one of which was submerged inside a jar of peanut butter. Someone else tried to bring a realistic replica of a pipe bomb in a carry-on. Not that you're allowed to bring one of those in your checked bag either. Another misguided traveler tried to bring a 3-foot-long samurai sword packed in a guitar case, also as a carry-on. That person was at least allowed to check the sword instead. To see what else passengers have tried to sneak onto planes, follow the link to Natalie's story in today's 7 newsletter. Alright, you're all caught up. Summer savings on premium are here. Right now, you can get a Washington Post premium subscription for just $3 every 4 weeks. Only premium subscribers get 3 extra accounts to share with friends and family, and special discounts and experiences from our partners. After your first year, that renews at $19 every 4 weeks. You can cancel anytime. Go to WashingtonPost.com/subscribe and get premium access to the Washington Post today. That's WashingtonPost.com/subscribe. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.